Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
Today we are going to talk about the grand finale of Better Call Saul.
Yes, so major spoilers alert.
Major spoilers.
Major.
I mean, season 6, episode 13. Let's ask the important question. I think we might have a little disagreement here tonight. Did you think it'd stick the landing? Like the landing.
What landing?
To stick the landing. You think it was a proper finale to the entire series?
You know, I still have trouble fully understanding the true meaning of all this. So I can't say for sure, but so far as I understand, I think it was okay.
I thought it was a perfect ending, to be honest. Like, did it blow my mind? No, but it was... I've been saying this for like the couple past episodes, but I keep getting this Goodfellas vibe. You know, the music, the mundane thing between the gangster shit, and in the end, you always pay for your crime. And I did like how they finessed it. You know,
that's a good word to express it. Yes, it did not have that like breathtaking moment that we had in Breaking Bad, that machine gun moment.
Yeah, sure.
But like you said, it's very polished. It seems very mundane, and it seems very somewhat undramatic compared to what we saw in Breaking Bad. But we can clearly tell that this is very sophisticated.
You know what it is though? Like, I think Better Call Saul, because of this finale and the past 4 episodes, is more properly called a high drama, a drama. But I think Breaking Bad is a thriller. I think so. A crime thriller, but this is a crime drama. Because you have to remember, like in past, especially starting around season 3, like Better Call Saul has actions, like hard pouncing actions. It does have them.
Yeah, even in this season, remember we still had action.
No, but what's so interesting is that they intentionally kept their distance away from that. Like there's like a 5-episode distance between the last violent scene in this series and the finale, and I felt like that's intentional. I really feel like they wanted to reach that Goodfellas level.
Yeah, and I think they paced it this way on purpose.
Yeah, I mean Saul's like a spoiler, by the way. Like Saul's confession was. It just reminded me of Varga as well. It's you're trying to get power in a situation you can't get power.
Yeah.
So what he does is he shows those prosecutors that he's skilled. He's skilled, and then he brings down to 7 years, but he's also doing the Kim route. When he heard Kim came clean, you know, that's a human thing. My love of my life confessed. I made fun of her. That was a low blow on Saul's part, but we all been there too. So I felt that. So he came in there, and it's such a fictional, authentic scene. Because I've been in real life, that never happens. Like you telling prosecutor, you got that? Prosecutor's like, fuck yeah, good job. You're a good guy after all. Fuck that. They hate that shit. But it was such a. I think they did it intentionally give the final closure to the Breaking Bad universe as well, because like I felt like Marie and some of the other like minor characters in Breaking Bad never got their we never got to see their like end of their story. That's true. And I was like, what did you think? I was happy to see Marie.
Yeah,
like
and. I love the fact that she was mentioning all those things about Hank. Yeah. In front of
yeah, that's
in front of Jimmy. Yeah. And telling how awesome he was. Yeah. And what a piece of shit he is. I heard they found you in a garbage can. I wasn't surprised.
Oh yeah.
So I was very pleased to see Mrs. Schrader.
Yeah. Because Marie is just like Skyler. We start off hating them a little.
Yeah, because I remember, I mean, it's been a while since I watched Breaking Bad, but she had her own issues. Yeah. I think she was kind of like a kleptomaniac.
Yeah, kleptomaniac. She also, like, falsely pretend she's somebody else to look at big houses. So that's like a continual ego thing, though. But here, Saul has the same thing. He does the Walt thing.
Yeah.
But in a much more, how shall I say, socially positive way. Because Walt's way was, fuck you! Bada, 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 bada. If you want your money, boom, bitch! Fuck up. I'm Heisenberg. Okay, Jesse, kill me. You don't want to? All right, fine. I respect you. I'm gonna go to the lab and touch myself before
I bleed to death.
Yeah, I got what I deserve. Like, remember that song when Walt dies? That should have been playing here too. Saul is even more brave in a way than Walter because he could have used his tremendous legal skill, by the way, to get away with it, but. He lives up to it, and that was the best scene in the episode. I felt.
Yeah, and another thing that I liked about the courtroom scene was that it had this very, very contrasting parallel to what Jimmy was doing to his brother just before Chuck's legal career went down the drain. You know, when he was
hearing.
Yeah, the hearing when he was proving that Chuck had no trouble with the electronics and stuff. So that's just after that hearing and his testimony. That's when he becomes truly Saul Goodman. Remember, that's when he rushes off to change his name in his
I would say that's when he starts to become Saul Goodman.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
He isn't Saul Goodman yet, despite the name change.
And I like the contrast because this is in this episode, in the final episode, after making his speech, he insists on being called Jimmy McGill from that moment.
No, but see here, that's the thing. This is my thought. I believe Saul Goodman was born when Howard died. Like the complete version of Saul Goodman. Before that, he was trying to become that. Here, when it's Saul Gone, it's all gone. Yes, Jimmy McGill is fucked, but you know that Saul persona, that Jim, like I'm quoting Jimmy here. Jimmy in Courtroom says Kim was the brave one. I ran away by becoming Saul Goodman. That's what he didn't say. And here he's saying, Saul, goodbye. I'm Jimmy McGill. I'm a completely imperfect person. When I could attack people, I did, and you know what? I'm gonna pay for it now. And basically, he acknowledged that to Marie and Mrs. Gomez that it's my fucking fault. I have responsibility for that, and that's when Jimmy is back. But the weird thing is, that's also not Jimmy. That's the upgraded Jimmy. Remember Jimmy in the season 1 or 2 was it? The flashback, and Jimmy is in jail. And he did this, what was that, Philadelphia special sandwich or whatever, where he goes on a roof and shits on them. He's like, and he's telling Chuck, oh, you know the loopholes, right? Fucking technicality. And Chuck's like about to walk out. He's like, no, please, help me, brother. So like, that's Slippin' Jimmy. So I guess like Slippin' Jimmy is gone too. So this is Jimmy McGill, the man. And what's beautiful about it is, there is a touch, like a warmth, like that bus scene was really interesting too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he helped all these criminals.
You know, that scene was also brilliant because the funny thing is when he was negotiating with the prosecutors, he was asking. Well, one of his requirements was to send him to some sort of nice jail.
Yeah, sure.
In North Carolina or someplace with a golf course with a golf wolf stuff but anyways, and he was mentioning to William Oakley about what was it, ADX Montrose, like the most piece of crap jail he could possibly end up in. And then we see in the bus scene that he's headed right towards ADX Montrose, and we can tell what kind of criminals go there. And in the bus there are these big buff dudes with all these tattoos.
No judgment, but they seem like lifers.
Yeah, they seem like some dangerous people. And then I'm concerned for Jimmy because I mean, people. I was wondering, is he gonna survive in there? And then the funniest thing that happens is these inmates, well, his soon to be inmates, they recognize Jimmy as it's Better Call Saul.
Yeah. And they chant his name.
Yeah, they chant his name.
And that was a beautiful scene in that I still have love for Saul Goodman, that person out though, because we talked about this, I think, in a prior podcast where he's respected though.
Yeah.
He's approved. And Jimmy never got that. Maybe Kim gave it to him a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, Chuck never gave it to him. Even Howard, I always called you hustling whatever, but you never gave him the fucking lawyer job. But
So,
here, yeah.
I was feeling the same thing, and while I was watching it, I was also thinking to myself, this is quite ironic because he's finally getting the recognition that he so craved after he ends up in jail.
Yeah, but it's kind of like sad and beautiful. Though. That's the theme they're going for here. I think, like, in Koreans, like we say, hino erak, right?
Yeah.
So when we see the scene, it's not just one emotion. It's one of joy and sadness. Kind of Shawshank Redemption vibe going on there too. I felt that, but I did feel like it was a vindication scene though. Because someone who's facing 86 years have never looked braver. Fuck you. Fuck you. You got that? I said that. Yeah. I could have made you eat my shit and give me 7 years. But I confess in front of the judge. I did that. That's what Nacho did, remember? Fuck you. Hey, fuck you, Hector. I put you in that chair. Fuck you, you piece of shit. You saved him. Motherfucker. He gets the gun. And then he decides to off himself. And, here's the same thing.
Be in control until the last moment.
And that bravery extends to that final beautiful scene with Kim. And the color comes back.
In the flames of the cigarette.
Oh yeah, that was. I don't know. Like I liked it, but it's just my personal thing. You can disagree. I wanted the color to come back fully on that court, like jail room, and then it fades away. But that was a beautiful scene where, what did Saul say? You got Kim says you got it. You got them down to 7.5 years. 86 years, and Saul says,
maybe, who knows? With good behavior.
Good behavior.
Like, yeah, maybe 78 years.
So it's like the courageous criminal thing. Yeah, because and it's funny to me, like someone who's missing in this episode kept coming back to me, Mike. Everything he said.
Oh.
Like criminals can be honorable. That's what he said. And I also felt like why Jimmy will be like Saul Goodman will be okay in jail because he's loyal. Loyalty defines.
And we could tell that the way his buddies in jail treat him, that he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Because when he was going to visit his lawyer,
yeah,
somebody else had to cover for him. He's like, "Yo, I got you, Saul."
And that's intentional because he's making the same dough he was when he was working at the donut place. So the show is asking, what's the difference? Like that was a miserable one, but here everyone knows who he is,
and he's respected.
Yeah, and because of the loyalty thing, I felt like Mike and Saul, you know how they seem like they don't like each other, or presumably, but I felt like they always had a mutual respect for the loyalty aspect. Because Mike is all like brawn and like strategic military thinking. Saul is more, according to him, a humanities guy. So, like,
and is very loyal to his clients.
Yeah, remember we talked about his integrity. Like he may be a criminal, but he completely like
as a lawyer. As
a criminal lawyer, he loves his criminal customers. Completely loyal. I would argue that Walt was the one who doesn't have any integrity.
That's right, and it's one of the reasons why Mike hated him so much.
Oh, that's a good point. Because Walt, if you think about it, it also made me think about Walt. Like, Walt is like more of a narcissist than Saul is, I would say. And here, but I don't know though. This scene.
Now, what did you think about the opening scene where Jimmy and Mike talk about regrets? It's like with the $7 million and the time machine and stuff. We gotta mention this time machine thing.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was not needed. Like, okay, so there's 3 scenes for that, right? There's one with Saul and Mike, Saul and Walter, and Saul and Chuck in the end, and it's intentional. But I felt like it was not needed. I felt like there was already enough thing in the show. Because remember, Better Call Saul is a prequel. by that definition, we're already traveling through time. Anybody who watches this as a fan has knowledge about like Breaking Bad. Don't get me wrong, I didn't hate it. It was interesting, but I felt like they were trying to spell out that theme that we were like already aware of. You know, that's how I felt. I felt it, like I didn't hate it, like I said.
So, Mike, clearly, you could tell from his answer that what he truly wanted was his integrity back.
No, that was just...
Remember, he wanted to go back to the time he got his first bribe, which means he probably doesn't want to take it again.
No, but he didn't want to take it because him taking it leads to his son dying.
Oh, well, that's true.
I don't think it has to do with integrity, to be honest. Like I just felt like that was the direct regret about his son dying because he took that bribe so long ago, he became a corrupt cop that led to his son dying. So that's what he's regretting. Same with Walt. Walt one was actually more interesting to me because he doesn't say anything, which implies that he has so many fucking regrets that he can't even like name one.
Or he has none. But he did have one about leaving the company.
Could be.
So you could clearly see that Walt did not regret any of his criminal career path.
I think that's up to interpretation, though. I felt like he did.
Now, well, your opinion is that these scenes were completely, unnecessary.
No.
Well, not completely, but...
No, let me rephrase before you say anything. I would have preferred a longer scene with Chuck alone. Like, without Walter or Mike. Because I really didn't need that Mike scene because I already said goodbye to Mike 4 episodes prior. You know how he, like, you know, with the scene with Varga's dad and Walter too. I don't need that because I'm sorry to say this, but this show is called Better Call Saul. Like, I care about Saul's story. Walt is interesting in small doses, but I really felt like the Chuck scene should have been longer. Like, that's just my personal opinion. I felt like there should have been more, something more that showed that their brotherly love and their brotherly hate at the same time. It was, I felt like they don't get me wrong, it was brilliant, that scene, but I felt like I wanted to see more of the Chuck thing because we haven't seen Chuck in a while.
Because, you know, I have a very different opinion about this.
Yeah.
I think that time machine element in this episode changes everything. Now, this is my opinion, and I'm still very puzzled about this. And I think it is very intentional that the writers put this time machine and regret aspect of this. I think the reason why this is not coming back from black and white, this entire black and white series itself is the Jimmy's regrets. This is what he wishes would have been.
Oh, interesting.
So I was thinking all night about this. I keep wondering why did they have to use that black and white, and why is this time machine stuff and regret stuff being put in place in the last episode? And I was thinking, so maybe in real life, Jimmy basically sold and threw Kim under the bus to get himself 7 years and have a happy life or something else. And in the future, he's regretting about it, and he's thinking about what wish would have been. And that's this entire black and white series. And the reason why I'm thinking about, and another thing that came into my mind is if you watch the previous episode where Kim goes back to Albuquerque, remember the scene where the logo comes on? I mean, the Better Call Saul VHS logo comes on and it pauses, stops, and then it goes into record. Just before it goes into record, there's a flash of an image. Did you catch that? By the way,
no.
I thought it was like a glitch or something. Just before it starts recording, there's that flash of image of Kim arriving at the Albuquerque airport. I didn't know that was Kim at the airport until I see the same scene later on. So that doesn't make much sense because remember, the moment they press record is supposed to record everything new. But the fact that glitch is still there means that it already happened. So, well, that's my interpretation. And I'm thinking there's a reason why they put that time machine and regret thing in the last episode. And I'm thinking this black and white must have some kind of meaning behind it. I don't know.
Yo, man, that was interesting. First of all, I applaud you, Won-Jin. I'm sorry to say I got none of that. No, because that's interesting. Like, all jokes aside, but I need one more scene to actually back that up. I felt then maybe there should be like an ambiguous scene where, like, after the court thing, we actually see Saul like out, not in jail, like drinking pina colada or whatever, but the screen is still black and white though. I just felt like that's interesting. That's some like interception shit. It's very interesting.
Oh, you mean Inception?
Yeah, Inception shit. That was really interesting. But I just felt like that time machine thing was about life and stuff. You know, because you have to remember Saul, even in his courtroom case, he never apologizes though. That's a very important point. Like, he's saying, I did it. I'm guilty. But he never says, I'm sorry. He's, like, maybe to Chuck he does. But you do get this, like, attitude of pride. And I just felt like the time machine thing was, the scene themselves were time machines. And we're seeing how Saul... We're seeing how Saul is made, in a way. Because Mike, Walter, and Chuck influenced him a lot. And these are, I don't know, I would say in a way they're stronger characters than Saul. Like Mark, I think anybody can agree to that point. Mike, because Mike saved Saul a couple times. He also gives good advice as an elderly figure, more experienced figure. And Mike, I would say Mike has less qualms about who he is than Saul, perhaps. And Walter, too. Like, despite all his flaws, you know, Walter is near end of the Breaking Bad. In the flashback we see, he is the more powerful individual. And Chuck, like, with Saul, that scene, our conversations ends up being the same, isn't it? That was the more important point for me. Because you know what that hints at? That kind of hints at, okay, there's a time machine, but would that change anything? That's my question. Like, would that change anything? And there's a reason why it's structured that way. Because we start off with Mike's, because we love Mike. He's an important character in the series. But when Walter says, shut the fuck up, you're talking about regrets. Fuck this time machine shit. So that's actually true. So that's like directly telling us what we're talking about.
If you're going to ask me about regrets, ask me about regrets. No bullshit about this time machine.
And he wanted to say, you fucking monkey. I'm a fucking PhD. Shut the fuck up, you dancing monkey. That's how Walter sees him. No, but that's why the time machine novel doesn't matter, because I felt like Chuck picking that up and Chuck saying our conversation ends up the same way, doesn't he? It's Chuck having regrets about how he treated Saul too.
I also see that point. Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's not about the time jump thing. It's about the regret thing. And Chuck, at that moment, we can tell that the brothers can actually say one or two more words to each other, but they don't.
That's right.
And it's a very mundane scene, but we've seen the scene every time in prior episodes. So Chuck is. I felt like Chuck was showing his humanities too, just as same as Saul would say his humanity in front of the court and saying, all my brother had was a law, but I took it away from him. I took a chance to attack him, and I did. You know, and that's an honest confession. Because, you know, we start off hating Chuck, but by episode 4, can we, like, our question is, wait a minute, is Chuck for real?
Does he really deserve that?
Yeah. And maybe he was right about. Because after watching the finale, you can argue that Chuck was right the whole time. Like, that courtroom is filled with everybody Jimmy McGill fucked over. Hank would be alive. Gomez would be alive. And Kim would have to go to Florida. If he never met you.
Yeah, she'd still be practicing law.
Maybe even a better lawyer. And oh my God, not to mention Howard Hamlin.
That's right.
Who got headshot for nothing and being a good man.
Yeah. And his entire firm getting dismembered.
Basically. Like, drug dealers died more mercifully than Howard in this show. So, like, I just felt like the time machine thing was about that. And it's just making it more bittersweet. That's why I said before, I wanted, like, longer scene with Chuck. I would have actually preferred it if it was all 3 scenes with Chuck, like the flashback. Because Mike saying that, like, we know that about... Remember that scene with Mike? He's telling his daughter-in-law about what happened to Matt, his son. And he confesses basically that I made my son take the bribe, and that got him killed because he looked like he didn't want to. So he killed those guys that killed him, and that's on me. Like I felt like we saw that in season 1 or 2. I don't know. I don't remember right now. I think it was season 1. We saw that part about Mike. Of course, he has regrets. Because of those regrets, he becomes the fucking machine killer that Gus uses. So I don't know. And even the Walter scene, I don't know. I didn't hate it. Like I said, I didn't hate it, but I like it was like a not memorable as I wanted them to be. Like I wanted to see more Chuck.
And I was happy to see Will Oakley play his part.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We were wondering, like they flashed his face in the previous episode. We were speculating he's got to have a role to play.
It's funny that he's taking over Saul's role in Breaking Bad. He's the comedic relief, and you know, I love how he said in the courtroom, what was it? Speculation, ma'am. What do you mean speculation? He's testifying to his action. It's a point of view, ma'am. And then, ma'am, I want to tender my resignation. Denied. This is going in your record. You failed to defend.
There's no way out of this.
Yeah, you're a dumb lawyer. You had it 7.5 years, but your dumbass customer made it 86. Co-counsel. It was funny though. It was funny. And we have to talk about that scene of Kim and Saul saying goodbye.
Oh.
No, because you know what? That's so weird. This episode shouldn't be Saul Gone though. Like, I felt like in the courtroom scene leading up to that pew pew scene, my question is, I feel like Saul and Jimmy are one person now. I feel like they're like fused together.
So it's like the what's it called? The final
form.
Yeah, the final form.
Yeah.
What we saw in Warcraft 3,
yeah.
Frozen Throne.
Yeah.
We are one.
Yeah, exactly. We're not the Lich or Rothras. We're one. Look, it's like, imagine it. You think, like, in prison, no one's going to call him Jimmy. They're all going to call him, hey, yo, Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Better Call Saul. Hey, yo, Saul, I got this legal trouble.
Everybody knows Better Call Saul, or somebody who got helped from Better Call Saul.
Yeah. Maybe he should have been a marketing executive. He's a fucking genius with that. Yeah, no, but I felt like it was a complete form. But I did love the tender look that Kim and Saul threw at each other,
and the fact that they're just like
apart from the
just
jail,
like 10 meters apart,
but can't touch each other.
So distant now.
Can't make love to each other, and Kim, like her look of desire and sadness,
because she probably was the one who was yearning the most for Jimmy to come back.
That's right.
And he's finally back, but now he's unapproachable.
No, but I'm glad that Saul got Kim's approval though. Remember in court scene,
he's looking. He keeps looking at back Kim to see her reaction,
and then Kim finally gives the nod. I think so. That's how I interpret it. She's like come clean. And Saul says, hey, wait a minute, Judge. It had nothing to do with this case, but I fucked my brother over. Like, just like, shut the fuck up, hurry the fuck up. but then he looks at Kim, and Kim's like, fuck yeah.
And the prosecutors are loving this.
Yeah.
It's like, Your Honor, we request him to
let him continue. Oh, shit. All these new charges. Possible potential new charges. No, but I feel like the prosecutors were like gentle with him with the 86 years, because definitely life in prison, I felt like was a possibility. But 86 years means, I don't know, probation is possible. He's like in his like 50s, so maybe when he's 80 and 90 he can come out.
And you know, when he was confessing to his own actions in the courtroom, it also reminded me of that movie called Flight. Remember the one with Denzel Washington?
Oh, the last confession.
Yeah, he's like a super talented pilot who used to be in the Navy, and he's supposedly in a dive in his own airplane, which is practically unrecoverable, but with his pure skill.
Wait a minute, spoilers.
But This is not the important thing in that movie, actually.
No, but still spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers alert.
Yeah, that movie is really great.
Yeah.
We get to see Denzel, like, his acting best.
But the problem is he was intoxicated in that moment. So when he comes to the hearing, he's under oath to tell the truth, but he just can't handle telling the truth in the end, and he ends up telling the truth that he was intoxicated while he was flying.
Yeah, he was supposed to lie, but he wanted to do that because of the flight attendants.
Yeah, so he had a great lawyer. He could get away with it, but his conscience came into play, and he just he just couldn't lie. And so that part, I mean, the moment he was in the courtroom, that reminded me a lot of that movie too. Flight. By the way, if anybody hasn't seen it, it's a great movie by Denzel Washington, just like every other movie with Denzel Washington. So I strongly recommend it.
And it's beautiful that Saul isn't a rat too, because everyone's dead, so I guess that's okay, right? And the Gus and Mike thing came out already, so everybody knows Gus is a piece of shit drug dealer. I mean, not all drug dealers are a piece of shit, but Gus was arguably. But anyway, so how would you rate the episode, Won-Jin?
I would give it, considering that it's the finale, not just to a season, but an entire series.
You never know, though.
Okay, I would give it 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
I'll give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for me. Like it was pretty awesome. Like I said, my one thing was the flashback scene. I didn't like register. I almost felt like it was fan service. And the Chuck scene was beautiful. I wanted Chuck to be more prominent. But overall, from Saul sitting down in the courtroom, you remember that scene where he walks on his Saul suit to
yeah.
That music
with the gaudy suit.
Yeah, that gave me Goodfellas vibe. Without being a rat or like snitching on anybody. Like that felt really awesome. And that's when like Jimmy is his cocky Saul.
By the way, you see a similar scene in that movie Flight when Denzel's like putting on his sunglasses and
hold up.
And he's coked up.
Yo, if Denzel does anything, it looks fucking cool. I bet like any scene with him and anything is cool. Like he makes it cool. No, but that scene was especially powerful because we've seen him downtrodden as Gene. But after he get caught, he's actually more powerful. When he's near the law, he becomes like Superman. Like without the law, as a con man, he's a nobody. But Jimmy, the slippin' Jimmy con man, plus Saul Goodman, the lawyer, fusion. Fuck yeah, get me to jail, 7.5, bitch. like you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like I felt like that was like the complete character because like, that's why I say it reminded me a lot of Chuck. Remember what Chuck said? Slippin' Jimmy I can handle, but slippin' Jimmy with a law degree is a chimp with a machine gun, and we are seeing that chimp with a machine gun. All the like, there was like. First of all, there were like the DA and like 10 prosecutors there. And
yeah,
like,
that's right.
Yeah,
he was just sitting across the table with nobody but William Oakley.
And wingman is William Oakley.
And he crowbars them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just crowbars them out like 7 years in jail.
Yeah, remember that scene like the DA is frustrated? Shut the fuck up. Fuck you. Like, maybe I want to. Maybe I want to.
It's like maybe add a mint chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
Every Friday.
Yeah. No, so like that's the chimp and the machine gun Chuck warned us all about. That's basically right there. And he's really effective. He's actually not chimp with a machine gun. He's a trained chimp with precision aiming machine gun.
And also, he knows how to be sympathetic. The way he drops that story, it was very, very persuasive.
Yeah, it was.
And what were they? What did the prosecutors say? They're like, oh, by the way, that guy was not just a prosecutor. That guy was like a federal prosecutor.
Yeah, I think he was a DA or something.
What was the word?
No, but doesn't matter. He's the guy in charge.
AUSA, that's right. AUSA. Assistant. There's this attorney called United States Attorney. I think they're attorney in the federal level. But anyways, so... Okay. I remember Jimmy kind of like taunting him. So I heard that you never lost a suit. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. No, but that's chimp with a machine gun in full control. And okay, because of that, I like that Walt and like Mike's flashback then, because we see him in like a class of its own. And one of Walter's line was so bad was. Saul was like, why didn't you ask me? We could have done it. And Walter says this line, you would have been the last person I looked for. And I looked at the screen and I was like, you're so wrong, Walter. He's arguably
You have no idea what he's capable of.
And besides, like, Walter saying that was kind of bitchy, because I remember you being a bitch in Saul's, like, courtroom. $10,000. Are you trying to bribe me? Get the fuck out. And then, like, Walt being butt-fucked by Saul halfway through. You're a chemistry teacher? And then, like, now you say that to Saul. Like, you're better than him? Hypocrite? Maybe?
Well, it shows Walter's character.
I guess. Yeah, you
it
said
adds
that.
to Walter's character.
Yeah.
So the reason why I gave it an 8 is, one, is the same reason that you had. Some of the flashbacks seemed a little out of place. So that makes me think, is it really necessary in the final episode? Unless like they had other intentions, like the one I speculated about. And second, that black and white thing. That black and white thing. I wanted that to have some meaning, just like, you know, in the Schindler's List. I wanted the color to have some meaning in this black and white. So that cigarette flame being in color, what's the meaning of that?
No, but it's Saul Gone. That's like their memory that's like on fire and beautiful. But Saul right now, he has nothing. Like Schindler's List. Like when they're getting like fucked over in the camp, it's black and white. But once they're free, its color is back, right?
No. Remember that little girl in the pink dress?
No, but that little girl and the cigarette is the same thing.
How?
No, but that little girl is the lost innocence.
Yeah, and that gives us the shock.
No, but here the cigarette is also the last flame he had with Kim. It symbolizes their love and that good part of their memory they had.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's one thing that never changed.
Yeah. Or
then what about that? Oh, we totally slept on Marion. Oh. We gotta give props to Marion. Remember, oh my gosh, she's so brilliant. Like when she was reading the plates out, I was like, oh my god, this lady should have been a police officer.
Yeah.
She's so sharp.
It made me wonder how he could have a dumbass like Jeff as a son. But anyway.
But remember you told me about the scene where Marion was looking at the video of Better Call Saul, and that part reflected on Gene's glasses.
No, that was colored.
Yeah, that was colored. So what does that mean?
So that's the good times. Because he was happy then. That's the... You know... I get a lot of Gatsby feel from that. The crime, it shouldn't be called like a Graham novel. It's not the power and the glory. It's a crime and the glory. But it's all over now. Remember in Goodfellas that line Henry Hill says to he looks at the audience. He says, "We had it all. We had the judges. We could do anything we want. But now it's all over." That's what he says. And then we turn to him in a witness protection program wearing a fucking pajama. According to him, a schmuck, right? Here's the same. Like, you ending up in jail, it's all over. Your crime days are over. No, because here, remember that line in Saul's testimony? I made millions, he says. And we saw Saul's house. Saul's house was as gaudy as it is, a rich man's house. Where he has ready set like table of candy bars so that his professional woman that comes to sleep with him can pick it up anytime they go, and he's like
breakfast on the go.
Yeah. So like I felt that was well done. Actually, I kind of disagree with you here. Like, as much as I wanted more color, like I thought that was just the right amount.
I don't know. Yeah. I just wanted more meaning in that black and white. I wanted it to have more meaning than this. Besides, or maybe I just haven't found it yet.
Maybe a better way to do it is maybe like because in like prior seasons, Gene scenes were all black and white. So maybe like as soon as it comes back here, they should have just turned it to color. Because I would have like preferred color too. But I give it a 9 because it's like I think the ending was very ambitious. It wanted, like, let's give us this though. It had closure and everything.
Yeah, it did.
There was no loose ends.
And also, the picture itself was beautiful. Like the moment they're in the jail cell and that light coming through the window and the bars, it sheds that light in the bar on Jimmy's face and Kim while they're smoking. It gave us that. Also, the pictures in black and white. It's so noir.
Yeah. No, so I felt like that alone should get an 8. But the +1 is for some of the brilliant dialogues in the courtroom. And I respect the last 20 minutes especially because they could have gone sentimental or tacky, but they didn't do any of that. It was dry. It was dry yet so full of emotion. That itself is like how many like drama series can end like that? Like, you know, don't make me mention Game of Thrones again. That's becoming a cliche, but you know, like, so that's, and no line was cringy. No line was seemed forced. Every dialogue seemed authentic and natural
and very well delivered.
And the ending was beautiful. There wasn't any "don't let me out of here" or it's just like a very, after all the chaos, now there's peace. Is it the best piece? No, it's all gone. But Saul at least salvaged his identity. That's something a lot of the characters in this series couldn't do. Nacho salvaged his like personal power, but he dies. Gus, he completes his revenge by kamikazing together, basically. Mike, despite all his wisdom, gets shot in a car by the person he hates the most, and his family is never going to get that money.
And by unnecessarily provoking a volatile man.
No, but he had it coming, though. He wanted to say those things for a long time. You could tell. Fuck you! I really hate you!
But we all know that Mike didn't have to die that day.
Yeah.
You know? He didn't have to say those mean things to Walter.
No, and Saul's story is beautiful because there's 3 endings to crime, right? You die like Walter, you go to jail like Saul, or 1% chance you end up like Jesse. Lucky. But I mean, we could. Don't you think we kind of expected this ending? It was how they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because there's no way this doesn't end in a tragedy. We said, remember? I almost theorized that Saul could die.
Yeah. Remember, we also speculated that it would be beautiful if Kim and Jimmy meet in jail.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they do.
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
We talked about it, and it truly happened.
And that was beautiful. That was one of the best scenes.
Yeah.
It was really sexy too. You know, not just sexy, but sad, sexy, beautiful, and then once she leaves, it's tender now the way she looks at him, and so it was like it was brilliant. So I'll give it a 9. Okay, you know what? Fuck that. 9.5 out of 10. 9 was not generous enough. Fuck you for giving it 8, motherfucker. Anyway, you got anything to add? Oh man, maybe we should have another one too, like. Do a whole series like overview.
Maybe we should do like an overview of the entire series.
Yeah, now that we talked about the finale, we can talk about how everything makes sense over the whole series, and maybe they'll do a spin-off. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean,
Los Salamancas.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely watching that. Like, or Mike could be a good story, I guess.
Like young Mike?
Yeah, young Mike.
Yeah, that could work. Based in the 80s and 70s or something.
Yeah. Oh, but they have to cast another actor. Yeah. But anyway, that's our thoughts on the finale of Better Call Saul. What did you think about it? Did you like it?
Write it in the comments.
Let us know your thoughts. This has been Joe.
This was Won-Jin.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Like and subscribe. You get a big prize. Christmas comes early.